What's going on YouTube? This is Said checking in with another retro drawing for you. This is, I think, like bits and pieces. I take bits and pieces like from a Goofy movie, but in all, it's the Goof Troops. Basically, Max and PJ, and then you got Pete and Goofy. Basically, the Goof Troop cartoon when I was younger. See, the only reason why I drew like from a Goofy movie because there was more pictures online from a Goofy movie than it was Goof Troops. See, Goof Troops when I was younger was a cool cartoon because Goof Troops was a cool cartoon when I was younger because it was just two parents raising two kids. Well, Goofy was a single parent raising Max by himself. Max was just a young boy that just did like when you was younger, you did shit that you wasn't supposed to do. And then PJ had the strict pops, and Max was his homie. Basically, they lived right next door to each other, and they do some shit that you're not supposed to do. And they were just like they matched together. Their friendship was strong, especially this one episode I remember when Max is helping PJ study for I think it was a math test, and his dad had put some extra pressure on him about passing the math test and all that. And at the end of the day, he took the math test. He had to go back to school to, I think they was supposed to go back to school and get the results or something. Or the results were supposed to come in. I think it was right after the test. They decided to cut school the next day and do like PJ's bucket list. I think he had some crazy shit like you want to eat like 400 burgers or and watch some type of movie 12 times or all of the movies back to back to back from this one series of movies. Um, that's some other shit. And the funny thing about it though, they made up some type of sickness and Pete that thought he was dying, thought PJ was dying, and he took him to the emergency room. They escaped the emergency room. They just like wrecked the whole town. PJ thought this the whole time. He thought his son was not PJ, but Pete. Big Pete thought he was like his son was dying the whole time, and come to find out his son really wasn't. He was just faking it. But long story short, like these characters right here, I don't know. Like when they put them together, they just mashed them together, and then not to get weird, but Disney knew what they was doing when they drew PJ mom. PJ mom, they made her sexy. She was like the Jessica Rabbit of the dog world for Goof Troops. Like you should see the deviant art of this woman. Like it's like ridiculous that people have this much time on their hands to do some freak shit like that, but they made her very curvaceous. Let's put it like that. These characters came a long way. Walt Disney is a genius, and like you can't take that away from him. Like, or the people that he had, like the people that work for Disney now. Walt Disney, long gone, but I'm just saying, Mickey Mouse is still the most recognizable Disney characters besides Goofy and Donald Duck. They're the original three. And then Pete. Pete wasn't always named Pete. He was named Black Pete at one time. He was a villain. He was the. I'm about to date my. Well, I'm not about to date myself, but I used to watch this cartoon, Popeye. If you ever watched Popeye, Pete was equivalent to Bruno back in the day. And so now it just made it some type of like father got PJ, or PJ used to be called Pete Jr. So Pete Jr. was just like a smaller version of his pop, and it just made him. Walt Disney changed with the times with their cartoons, but it was there's still some shit in their movies that you wouldn't notice when you was younger, but when you notice it now, and you be like, yo, that's crazy, that's some like perverted shit. But that was Walt Disney. There's nothing we can do about that, man. It's not really much. People complain and try to say, look at this cartoon, because there was one Mickey Mouse cartoon when Mickey was working in the cheese factory, and we was wondering how the hose was getting in the cheese, and come to find out the whole time Mickey was like triangling the cheese up, he had a boner. So we really, it went like to the part where you couldn't figure out how the hose was getting in it from his hand into the back to the motor belt. Come to find out he had a boner, and like it was sticking out, so he was basically poking holes in it. So that was like a random fact. Like if you ever watch some old black and white Disney cartoons, if you see that episode, you'll see what I'm talking about. And then I think it was like Little Mermaid or something like that. The penis, the mushroom tip castle. I'm using the Hodge twins term right there. I think my friend Chris Keiko, he still has the original box set, the original VHS tape with it on there. And then Lion King, like there's so much stuff. Walt Disney, some hidden messages and all that stuff, but still great cartoons, still great inventor. Thanks for watching. Peace.